What? That just like flips. He had it backwards. This frame should not be brighter than this frame. No way. But that's what it is. And just by flipping that, you've got a better storyline here. Me and my 500 subscribers are going to completely dethrone Aaron Blaise and his art empire. No, not at all. I am a huge fan of Aaron Blaise. Before we start, I want to make sure that that is clear. If you don't know who Aaron Blaise is, he's an ex-Disney legend, most famous for his role in Brother Bear. I believe he was the head animator, animating lead of the film, something like that, some high up position, amazing animator. Since then, he has gone on to become an animation instructor on his own with creatureartteacher.com. You should check it out. I, before getting into illustration, was very interested in animation, and I owe everything I know to Aaron Blaise. He's fascinating to watch. He is an amazing animator. One of the big projects he has been working on for the last 5 years is this short film called Snow Bear that he just finally released. And the animation is unbelievable. There is no doubt it is beautiful. It feels hand-drawn. It feels as if he drew from his heart, as the great Glenn Keane would say. So, I have no complaints about 2D animation being back. Aaron Blaise putting out great short films. It's a lot of fun to watch if you're an animation buff. However, I couldn't help, as an illustrator concept artist, thinking this short film could be so much better if there would have been an emphasis on using color to tell the story. Let me explain what I mean. But before I do check out Snow Bear on Aaron's YouTube channel. It's a lot of fun to watch. But I'm just gonna run through a summary of the story. It's a real doom and gloom global warming story. There's a polar bear. He can't find any other polar bears. He's very lonely. Until one day, he builds a snow bear. And this snow bear becomes like a friend to him because he has no friends. But even that gets ripped away from him. One day he wakes up and the sun is so hot that his snow bear that he built is melting. Trying to save his snow bear, things get even worse as the piece of ice that him and his snow bear are on detaches and starts to float. When you don't think things could get worse, we open up on a shot on the snow bear on a snowless bank, nearly dead. We are at the lowest point. Our main character has gone from lonely to imaginary friends to even losing his imaginary friends to pretty much dying. But in his darkest moment, he goes over a hill and by chance, there is another polar bear who also makes imaginary friends, and it's a female. So there is hope at the end. But then we have the very end credit that says polar bears are all gonna die. That is the story, and whether you agree with it or not, we are gonna do our best to tell that story better with color. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take those, 5 key moments I just explained. We've got lonely snow bear, loses imaginary friends, washed up on the shore, nearly dead, and then by luck finds a girl. Okay, so those are our 4 story moments. We're gonna take those 4 key frames and we are going to recolor them to amplify the story, to amplify the emotion. I'm not gonna change any of the animation that Aaron did. That would be ridiculous. It is a masterclass and should not be touched by anybody except Aaron. I'm not gonna change any of the camera angles either. That would be another thing that we could do to kind of push more emotion, push more story, would be to change the angles. I'm not doing that. All we are doing is saying how impactful color can be in a film. Quickly, before we begin, I am just gonna scrub through the film for you right now. And one thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna blur it. Because what I don't want you to do is get caught up in the story. I want you to just watch this film sped up, but just in the shapes of color, and tell me if that 4-part story that I told you comes through. Do you see in the beginning with these blurry color images a lonely polar bear? Do you feel loneliness in these colors? And then do you feel even more heartache as his imagination is crushed? And then, do you feel the dark moment of our character's soul as he's washed up on this beach? And then, finally, do you feel all of that darkness relieved and hope? I don't think so. And so that's what we're gonna do tonight. We're gonna take those 4 key frames and we are going to recolor them and see if we can punch those emotional notes, if we can punch some story into it and make this film even better by recoloring it. Let's do it! All right, as I am pulling up Procreate here, it is 7 minutes to 11, and I am really hungry, and I am near a Sonic, and nothing in the world sounds better to me than a smash burger from Sonic and a strawberry shake. So I'm going to try to finish this as quickly as possible so that I can enjoy a nice midnight snack before they close. This video is not sponsored by Sonic, but that would be sweet if it was. Also, while I'm pulling this up, 500 subscribers, guys. I made a joke about it in the beginning because compared to Aaron Blaise's empire, it is nothing. But wow, so cool. Thank you so much for following. I used to call you guys the 2.5%ers because only 2.5% of the views I was getting on my videos were coming from subscribers. But guys, that number has pushed up from 2.5 to 9.5. which is incredible. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for subscribing and making this dream come true for me. Continue to do it. So if you're in the 90, if you're in the 80, no. If you're in the, oh, math is hard. If you're in the 90.5% of people watching this and not subscribed, please do subscribe. Thank you. All right, so we've got our 4 frames here. So if we're just looking at this first one here, I don't mind that one. That feels very Lonely Cowboy, Sunset. That's not bad. So I don't have a ton of changes to that one. But with the story starting there, let's say it starts with Lonely Cowboy, Sunset. What I would like to see is, I get that we need the hot sun, but I don't actually think we do. I think, you know, technically he wants that really hot, intense heat. But this one specifically, when he wakes up on the beach the next day, that should be, in my mind, like the darkest moment, right? This is doom and gloom. The world is ending. He has no friends. He has nowhere to go. He's probably gonna die, right? So let's start there. I'm gonna keep this first frame as is. I like that. I think we can maybe push it a little more, and maybe I will, but I'm gonna start here with this one. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take those gray clouds that Aaron has in here, and I'm gonna cover the sky with them. There we go. Real fat brush this thing. Just gonna lay out a darker sky here. And what would happen if we just darken the entire scene? Really let that polar bear pop right here. So much darker. And I want to add something just slightly off. Either a red, maybe a green would look better. Let's add just a little bit of something really off in the sky. Just a gentle, unnatural light, right? Because that's the idea of this. This is not natural. We're destroying, we humans in the worldview of this thing are destroying the planet. So let's feel that a little bit. This could be, if we're gonna have kind of a sunrise, which I think we're gonna have in this final frame here, this would be twilight, or not twilight, just right before, what is that called? Right in the morning, before the sun rises. So we can have this green here. How is that feeling? Oh, better already. Okay. Let's darken this even more. I'm gonna throw a little bit of red. The other fun thing that this does is it's letting our polar bear pop. Oh yeah, do you guys feel that? Dark, sad, world ending. You feel that just the cheer fall out of this thing just by changing the colors there? Let's let that green go a little more poppy. Just keep pushing this idea. Yeah, that feels real good, don't you think? Okay, you can already start to see the story, can't you? Beautiful. These covered here. There we go. All right. That feels really good. Super simple, right? And we could just keep going with that idea. And maybe I will. Let's make this even better. Let's take this blue of the water and push it a little purpley. We've got that red in there. And so there's an argument to be made that, Justin, you can't push this much in this frame because the next one is so close together. Like, all he does is go over this hill. But that's not necessarily true, right? It happens quick in the film. But what if he travels for a while, and as he goes over that hill and he sees the snow bear for the first time and the female polar bear? What if that there spends some time and we've gone from pre-sunrise to sunrise? I think that's completely plausible. So that feels a lot better. That is our darkest moment of the soul. And you know, on that note, I think we can push it even more. I know. I want to stick to that red that I had. This is our sad polar bear extinction moment. So let's push that. Let's feel that. Let's believe it, you know, whether you do or not. For the sake of this story, I wanna believe that. Man, fun. Right? There you go. Doom and gloom. World is ending. Love it. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so then let's get to our happy moment here. Let's take this and just push it more. I want some real cheery yellows, right, in the sky. This is Easter Sunday, you know? This is hope. So I'm gonna push, oops. I'm gonna push some oranges back here. And let's certainly brighten that up. Get some yellows at the base. Brighter, brighter, brighter. And then those hills, I'm gonna let them also lighten and add some atmosphere here. I'm gonna go crazy on my... Yeah, let's push these hills way back. That's making my sky too. Ooh, wow, look at that. Look at that. Just feel that. Do you feel it? Oh, I feel it. I feel it. Let's keep that going. Just brighten this whole thing. Little sun glare on the rocks up front here. Oh, already, look at that. Let's go off into the sunset. That's great. That was so simple. But look at that. I feel like we lost our bears just a little bit. So let me pull them back. Maybe use some blues in their shadows here. Give them a shadow there. And we can even pull out some of this. Literally wrap it around them. Pull their silhouette out. They're glowing. Yeah. Let's just change this so that we've got pure white up against the bears. Let me get rid of some of this green here. Because they're going off, you know, if we want hope, there should be snow ahead of them, right? Little zigzag there to point to the bear. And then let's make these bears our brightest point. Absolutely, and then you obviously would have the line of the actual animation in there, so let's just kind of get that back in here. I'm not even gonna pretend to do it as well as Aaron Blaise can. There we go. How's that starting to feel? Wow. Yeah, I think we could push it even more. Let's really let this light come down. We got a different layer here. Yeah. So they go off. Often you have a character go off into the sunset, you know, you've got going off in the sunset. But if we want true hope, I feel like I really like this idea of them going off into the sunrise. All right, if we're gonna do this, then we need the sun. We need the sun right here, right on top. And let's bring back some of that green to attach it to the scene that happened before, because you get this sometimes, get this green in the middle of a sun to make it look really bright. And that's the green that we were seeing in the previous frame, huh? Cool. Get out of here, this is amazing. Yeah. Let's get you some pure freaking white in here. Just cook these bears in light. Yeah. There's hope for snow bears. Let's get a little more orangey. It's going too neon. They're glowing here. Yeah, look at that. I love that. I want to get a little more of this blue. Should have some light that is seeping into those shadows. So we're actually gonna lose a little bit of that blue because of the glow. And there it is. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Give him a little shadow. Point him in the direction. Point the audience in the direction of our snow bears with their shadows. Yeah. That is awesome. Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, cool. All right, let's see what we're looking at here with both of those frames updated. Okay, so here's the end of the movie. What? That just like flips. He had it backwards. This frame should not be brighter than this frame. No way. But that's what it is. And just by flipping that, you've got a better storyline here. Okay, so as we're going through I'm gonna change this. I know he wants the sun to melt the ice. Okay. Should I keep that? I don't think so. I wonder if this one should just be nighttime though. Because this third one is so unnatural with that green light. Let's try that. I'm actually gonna make this one physically the darkest. We're gonna make this a nighttime scene. Let's make this a nighttime shot. Mm-hmm. Want to find a way to not lose my bear right here. This looks super cool. And I'm gonna lower our moon is gonna be right here. What the heck is this eraser? Yeah, I think that serves the story better. It doesn't have to be daytime for this ice to be melting, because we know he's traveling for so long. And you're showing, the actual short shows him, shows the thing melting, so we don't have to explain that it's the sun melting it. Plus, you can keep that sun in the shot before where he wakes up the next morning. That would be the one other frame I would maybe add to this, is that when he wakes up in the morning and the sun is out, I would make that more blaring. And if I was redoing that one, I would make it more unnatural. This nighttime scene also is just going to add to that lonely feeling, which we really want to feel. There's something about a solo middle of the night shot that is always going to feel really lonely with just the moon in there. That's a really introspective character moment that you don't want to miss out on. There's our snow bear lit up and his reflection. Heck yeah, look at that. Oh, this took no time at all. And we were able to make this look so much better, in my humble opinion. But this took, so we started at 11, it's 11:20. It's 11:20, in 20 minutes, we went from this to this. Now you tell me, let's go back through those 4 story moments we talked about. Which of these 2 looks like a lonely bear who only gets lonelier, who is at the point of death, and then hope that it's not the end? Which one of these tells that story without you having to watch the whole film? And so I genuinely think that Aaron Blaise missed out on a big opportunity to use color to tell this really tragic story. So let me know in the comments what you think. I was able to whip out these color studies in 20 minutes, and I think that it really tells the story a lot better. I think there's a lot more directions you could have gone. And so if you're interested in more of a deep dive of this, not such a rush through this to get my Sonic dinner, then let me know. if you're interested in that, because this is a lot of fun for me to do, is to analyze story and really think through how to use color to tell a story. That's what I do as an illustrator, as a concept artist. Thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe. Thank you to the 500 people already subscribed. It would be really cool if Aaron saw this, so I'm going to be posting on social medias and tag him. I'm a huge fan of Aaron Blaise. I hope that came across in this video. I think the film could have been better, but he's an amazing animator. And I will see you all in the next video. Thank you. Bye.
Oh, yeah. Thanks so much for watching. Do subscribe. Oh, this is so good. I can't afford to do this every time, guys. But if you subscribe, maybe somebody else will subscribe. And YouTube will pay me for views. And I can buy more cheeseburgers. Thanks so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next video.